a short video about the 5-finger scale, or the pentascale. So we're going to start on a C and just go up to G. And back down again to C. That is our 5-finger position. We can play it hands together. We can play it hands together going up and down in steps and then going up in skips or thirds, which will give us our chord shape. So that will look like this. It's a really good way to practice it. Yeah, so you're working on coordination, you're learning your chord shapes, you're learning the usual 5-finger position that most pieces will start in. You're concentrating on hand shape, finger independence. There's loads of stuff going on. It's a really good way to warm up. What we did was we looked at the pattern that we've actually built on the piano and we moved that to start on a D instead of a C, but following exactly the same pattern. And we looked at 2 different kinds of patterns, one called a semitone and one called a tone. Now a semitone, or a half step as the Americans call it, is the distance between any 2 next door neighbour keys, including the black keys. So for most keys this will be a black to white pattern, but the exceptions for that is E and F, which fall together. They're a semitone apart because there's no black key between them. And B and C, the same thing happens again, and it's just that half step or semitone difference between them. A tone is simply 2 semitones put together. So between most of the white keys, we'll have gone 2 of the half steps, so we'll call that a tone. Okay, so if we look at the scale of C, between C and D, we go a whole tone because we've got the black note in between. Between D and E, we're going to count 2 of the half steps, so that's another tone. Between E and F, they're right next door to each other, so that's a semitone. And then between F and G, we've gone 2 of the half steps again, so it's a tone. So our pattern goes bottom note, add a tone, add a tone, add a semitone, add a tone. And we're going to take that pattern and we're going to start on D. We start on D, we add a tone to get to E. We're going to add another tone which will take us 2 half steps up to this black key, which we named F sharp. Now a semitone which will take us back onto the white keys, and now another tone. So we've transposed the pattern, we've moved the same pattern, which is the major scale pattern. We've transposed it to D, we've moved it to D. It has the same kind of sound, the same quality. If it was a song, we would say it had the same tune, the same melody line, because we've moved exactly the same pattern, but started it a little higher. And we can now practice our D pentascale, which will help us play songs in the key of D. It's helped us to build our D major chord. And it's learning a new hand position, slightly different. We might want to put our hands slightly further forward onto the piano so that we can play that black note really comfortably with our hand in a nice relaxed position. And it's just teaching your fingers a slightly different pattern to play, which will come in really useful as we start to expand to more complex music. We will continue that pattern next week, further up the keys, so you can carry on at home if you wish, and see which keys we can play in. I hope that all makes sense.